Are you doomed to be unhappy, unhealthy, and poor? Only if you choose to be. In his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches you how your memorized habits are making a bigger impact on your daily life today than you can imagine. In fact, he claims you're unhappy because your body has gotten so used to the idea of being unhappy that it's more comfortable to trigger those neural signals than to trigger the ones for happiness. Are you stuck with this sad state of life? Absolutely not. Throughout his book and the big ideas that we discuss in this audiobook summary, Dr. Joe shows you how much of reality is just our perception of quantum energy, and how much can be modified through intentional meditations and strategies that tap into the subconscious of our minds. And by confronting your deeply ingrained habits, you can start to make a change for the better and transform your life completely. You're not doomed by your genes, and your life does not need to go a certain specific way for it to be successful. All you have to do is remind yourself and believe in the fact that you have all the power you need to take control of your situation, if only you could learn how to tap into that power. And through the step-by-step guide that Dr. Joe has put together and the big ideas that we've extracted from it to create this audiobook summary, you'll learn how. Here's what we'll talk about specifically in this book summary. We'll discuss the ways you've subconsciously trained your brain and body to respond to situations that harm you in the long run. We'll discuss the surprising truth about the relationship between energy and matter and how disproportionate they really are. We'll talk about the power that embracing the reality of quantum mechanics can have on your life. We'll discuss why negative emotions only work to attract more negativity into your life. We'll talk about the ways you can live your best existence immediately by transforming your brain. And finally, we'll talk about how simply starting a meditation routine can make a profound difference in the way your brain functions immediately. Crucial quote: "When you hold clear, focused thoughts about your purpose, accompanied by your passionate, emotional engagement, you broadcast a stronger electromagnetic signal that pulls you toward a potential reality that matches what you want." A quick tweetable summary to encapsulate this book in a nutshell before we dive into the big ideas. You can radically transform your mindset and improve your life by leveraging the power of quantum mechanics and specific meditation practices. Big idea number 1. What is quantum mechanics anyway? The world around you is energy, even if it doesn't feel like it. Each atom in your body is about 99% empty space, with just a small amount of matter in between it. Now, while the view of the world today is primarily focused on matter, the truth is that most of the world is made up of the space between matter instead. Quantum mechanics is a relatively new field of science that studies the impacts of energy at these low levels, and the overall consensus is that time and space are less solid and unchanging than we generally think it is. And for this reason, the author, Joe Dispenza, tells us that our thoughts have a greater impact on the larger world than we think, because they are part of the energy that exists around us. All time and all realities exist in the quantum field, meaning that a reality exists where you are healthy, wealthy, and happy. That reality can become your reality if you let it. Can you change your world by changing your thoughts? Dispenza believes, yes, it's possible. And in this book, he tries to use research to back up that claim and teach us how to make it happen in our own lives. He tells us that until you start to see the world in a way that's manipulated by quantum mechanics, actions and behaviors will always seem strange and haphazard. However, connecting your thoughts with the energy of the quantum gives you far more power to change your thoughts, your mindset, and the way you approach the world to give the universe the opportunity to provide for you in incredible ways. Changing your life, it starts with changing your mindset. And Joe Dispenza tells us that everyone has more control over what they attract from the universe so long as they learn how to harness their mind to send out the right messages. So how do you change your mindset? How do you change your life? The process starts with understanding how the brain works and the benefits that meditation can provide for your body. Big idea number 2. Do not let your environment limit you. Quote, your thoughts have consequences so great that they affect your reality. Unquote. Can your mind really have measurable impacts on your life? It already does. Think back to the times when a few bad incidents early in your day caused you to give up the entire day and wash it off as a loss, only to have your prophecies of doom become self-fulfilled. Just one negative experience led to another one. And you say, hey man, when it rains, it really pours. And one of the reasons that happens is because we allow it to. According to Joe Dispenza, the author of this book, this isn't just you noticing more negative events throughout the day. Instead, your body becomes comfortable with the feelings of gloom and doom and anger you are filling it with. And it seeks out events in your life that will cause those feelings to stay. In this view, it's easier for the body to perform habitual behavior than to have to fire new neural synapses, which causes you to continually attract negative events to your life if you're used to feeling negative. In contrast, though, on the flip side, always feeling positive and thankful, feeling grateful for what the universe can provide for you, will lead you to attract positive events to your life instead. How you think directly affects the ways that quantum mechanics affect your life because the quantum field, Dispenza tells us, exists in all time frames all at once. Now, even though this sounds foo-foo and really hard to grip, the bottom line is that to make a change for the positive, you need to keep thoughts in your head of an idealized self, the highest, the best version of yourself, a version of yourself that you most want to be. Joe tells us that all the greats in history knew how to do this, and you can do it for yourself too, even if you don't understand all this quantum mechanics stuff. If you're intentional about it, you can do this. The tricky part, though, is learning to be intentional, as the vast majority of life passes by through unconscious habits that may or may not be harmful to our lives. Now, to get better control of what happens to you each day, you've got to become aware of these negative habits, these negative patterns that you continually run on autopilot throughout your life. And you want to transform them, shape them to attract the best energy for your life. Big idea number 3. Overcome the limitations of your body. Quote, energy is the very fabric of all things material and is responsive to mind. Unquote. Though they may seem more abstract, every thought in your mind is the result of chemicals firing in your brain. The thinking habits that you normally fall into will dictate which chemicals get fired and how they affect your overall life. Very quickly, these chemicals in your brain can create memorized states that make it easy to consistently act in the same way and feel the same emotions about your life, even if those emotions and those behaviors don't benefit you. And in this way, thoughts and feelings, they can merge together. You can start to feel that you have always been lazy. You can start to feel that you've always been anxious. You can start to feel that you've always had any other negative characteristic. And your body memorizes these thought loops and it grows comfortable creating the chemical thoughts that lead to them. And your life, consequently, attracts these kinds of experiences that help you prove these feelings about yourself to be true. How can this happen? Most of these negative thoughts are so far in the subconscious brain that you have no idea they even exist. You so deeply internalize their negative messages that you don't even have an opportunity to question them, which can lead to a lifetime of never living up to your fullest potential. And how sad would that be? How sad, how incredibly sad would it be for you to never have an opportunity to tap into your truest, highest form, your fullest potential? In the book, Joe Dispenza tells us that you can dig deep, and you can dig deep enough into your subconscious brain and reprogram these automatic thoughts and feelings and create new patterns of thinking that lead to a better self-image, that lead to a more fulfilling life, that lead to your highest and best version of who you are. By making these changes, you can unmemorize emotions, change your personality for the better, and experience the healthiest, happiest, and even wealthiest version of yourself. And this is more than just positive thinking. This is a way of reprogramming your brain so that you attract the kind of energy that you want. Big idea number 4. Do not be limited by time. Quote, "A memory without the emotional charge is called wisdom." Unquote. Every one of us lives with a chemical bath of memorized emotions that we've learned from our life's experience. These feelings, they can come from dwelling too much in the past and the future, but also from never focusing on the present reality. This leads to anxiety and feelings of being out of control, which are limiting and prevent us from being our best selves. And in many cases, these feelings become as automatic to our existence as breathing. Now, though the conscious mind might live in the present, the subconscious mind can hold us in the past, and it has far more control over our daily lives than we may think or believe it does. And by regaining control of your subconscious mind, you can take control of the wheel, so to speak, and redirect your life in the direction you want it to go by overcoming damaging automatic habits, those negative behavior patterns that do not serve you to achieve what it is that you want to achieve and to live a successful and fulfilling life. But when you bring your subconscious mind to the present, Dispenza believes, you open up your life to every possibility of the quantum field. This lets you take control of living your best life in the present, past, and future, because all realities, he tells us, exist at once within it, this quantum field. It might sound crazy, but reclaiming this control can help you create the life that you want right now by tapping into this force that he writes about that so few people understand, this quantum field, this field of quantum mechanics. By learning how to navigate it, you can reclaim control over your own life and live up to your highest potential. Big idea number 5. Survival versus creation. The stresses of life keep your body in a constantly agitated state of fight or flight tendencies. And if you want to bring your being beyond these worldly stresses, you need to forget about what Joe calls the big 3, which are time, your body, and the environment. This process involves metacognition, or awareness of your awareness. You need to start asking yourself bigger questions about where you want your life to go, what you want your life to do, what you want to become, what your idealized existence would look like. Starting this thought process is the beginning of creating a new life for yourself rather than living in a state of constant survival. Living in these creative moments of self-expression, it's not easy. Of course, it's difficult, as we naturally focus on anxiety in the past or the future instead. However, this state of being is completely natural for animals, meaning that it's possible for us too. We can overcome the trauma of our experiences in the past by focusing the subconscious mind on the present instead. Living with stress causes you to focus exclusively on your body, the environment, and time, and freeing yourself of this will help you overcome your dependence on the big 3. Big idea number 6, managing the 3 brains, thinking to doing to being. Quote, "The quantum field responds not to what we want, it responds to who we are being." Unquote. How can you move from past and future thinking with your subconscious mind to dwelling exclusively in the present? The answer, according to Dr. Joe, is meditation. He believes that intentional meditation helps you to change your neural chemistry, dig deeper into your subconscious thoughts, and create connections that help you achieve your best life from the ground up. Adding a daily meditation practice to your life will get you in touch with your brain and thought processes so that you can understand yourself at a much deeper level. And best of all, the brain, it's neuroplastic, meaning that it can rewire itself and change the chemical connections it makes at any time of your life, completely transforming your emotions in the process. However, it's not possible to think and feel different things. To think one thing and to feel another, it isn't possible to do that. These two forms of expression need to be in harmony, and they can create a new state of being when you learn how to manage them properly. This helps you change your personality at a fundamental level. It lets you create the life that you're looking to have. For example, let's say you've got a really tough time getting along with your mother-in-law. Intentionally meditating about being more considerate of her will actually help you to change your automatic reaction to her by rewiring your brain's neural circuits, which allows your brain to function with more patience, thus making it easier for you to be around her in person. This process can manifest itself through meditation, as it allows you to change your brain, body, and state of being all at once. By letting yourself experience feeling and emotions in your body through meditation, you can create the future for yourself right here in the present. Big idea number 7, dwell within the gap. Quote, when our behaviors match our intentions, when our actions are equal to our thoughts, when our minds and our bodies are working together, when our words and our deeds are aligned, there is an immense power behind any individual. Unquote. Where does your identity come from? For most of us, it's from other people, our circumstances, and even our possessions. However, none of these things exist once we die. So where does our meaning and our connection with the greater world come from? For many people, it comes from memorized patterns of behavior that lead to guilt, shame, anger, and more. These feelings make us feel alive, but they also slowly kill us over time. If you want your life to start feeling more connected with a deeper sense of yourself, it's essential that you tap deeper into your subconscious and challenge some of the ideas that you've thought about yourself, that you have about yourself and your identity. Connecting to yourself in this way is a way to remove the gap between who you are and how you present yourself to the world. Confronting your subconscious, it's going to help you live more authentically because it helps you take steps towards matching your ideal with your reality by bringing out the best in who you are, in yourself. And as you become more aware of how you perceive yourself in your subconscious, you remove the veils that are keeping you from being your true self, allowing you to become more loving, more giving, more conscious, and willful in the long run. Big idea number 8, stepping toward your new destiny. Now that you understand the basics behind the philosophy of changing your thought patterns through meditation, it's time to put it to practice. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself has a comprehensive section filled with specific instructions for starting a 4-week meditation practice and what you need to add each week to get the best benefits for your body and for your mind. Now, you can follow the meditations exactly as they are instructed in the book should you decide to purchase the full version, but you don't need to in order to be able to do this exercise and gain the benefits from it. What we've done is we've extracted the key ideas through this meditation practice that Dr. Dispenza has set forth in the book, and we have created a summarized version of it. So if you want the full, in-depth, detailed version of the meditation practice that he talks about in the book, you can pick that up by picking up the actual book, but you don't need to because we've summarized everything you need in this audiobook summary. Now, before we dive into the actual practice and the directions in terms of how to do it, just a couple of quick notes. What you want to do is make sure that you've set aside between 10 to 15 minutes every single day in order to do this actual meditation practice. You want to reserve about 10 minutes to go through your meditation practice every day and make this sacred. Use a timer if you need to. Put a sign on the door. It's just a few minutes, a small, minute percentage of your day that can make a massive impact on your overall sense of health and well-being. And you want to begin each meditation practice by finding a very quiet place, again, where no one can bother you. You want to turn off all your digital distractions and ideally do this meditation at the same time every day so that you can turn it into a habit, because this is ideally something that you want to continue doing throughout the rest of your life. Now, let's begin with week 1. This meditation practice begins by becoming more fully present with your body. You want to start breathing. Breathe in through your nose. Inhale. Exhale. Close your eyes. Find a nice place to sit down, either Indian style or put your hands underneath your knees, sitting down kneeling, or underneath your butt, or sit down at a chair if you don't want to kneel down and sit on the floor. But just continue breathing and focus on your breath. Inhale. Exhale. If you needed to set a timer for this meditation practice, then stop right now and go ahead and do that if you forgot to do so, because sometimes once you get deep into it, you can really lose track of time. Or if you're like I was, personally, with regard to meditation, I couldn't stop wanting to look at the clock because I had so many things on my mind. And with enough practice, eventually, I started to get the hang of it. Still not perfect, still have a lot of work to do, but I'm getting there. And you might be on either end of the spectrum. But wherever you are, just begin. Again, it's only 10 to 15 minutes a day. This is week 1. Every day, Monday through Sunday, you want to get up at the same time or do a specific time slot of meditation practice in the middle of your day or at the end of your day, and begin by breathing. Inhale, exhale, close your eyes. You want to begin this week 1 meditation practice by finding a quiet place again where nobody can bother you. And you want to start by trying to become fully present with your body by working through meditations where you focus on every aspect of your body, one piece at a time, as if it's slowly becoming covered with water. Your whole body. Now you have your eyes closed still. Keep them closed and continue breathing as we go through this. And after you go through your whole body, you want to focus on the space surrounding your body. And the end goal here with this week 1 meditation is to become aware of your body as connected to the rest of the space around you. So every day for 10 minutes for week 1, Monday through Sunday, practice the same meditation, this body meditation, this whole body connection to the space around you. That's what the focus of this meditation is. Become more fully present with your body and working through these meditations where you focus on every aspect of your body. Start at your toes and keep your eyes closed. Continue breathing, inhaling slowly and exhaling slowly, and then moving up towards your ankles, and then focus on your knees, and then move up to your hips, your tummy, your chest area, your heart. Focus on your fingers. What kind of sensations do you have in your fingers right now? Then move up to your wrists, your elbows, your bicep and tricep area, your shoulders, your back, all the way up to your neck, your chin, your ears, How does it feel to have your eyes closed for so many consecutive minutes at a time and not sleeping, but actually meditating and being one with yourself? How do your eyes feel right now? You're awake, yet they're closed. You're calm, and you're meditating. So this is the idea of this meditation of week 1. Again, becoming fully present with your body. Just a few seconds spent with each body part, being grateful for it, feeling the sensations that you're feeling within them, and then moving on to the next one, starting from your tippy toes all the way up to the crown of your head. One piece at a time. And then imagine if it's as if it were slowly becoming covered with water. And then, after going through your whole body, focus on the space surrounding your body. And again, the end goal here is to become aware of your body as connected to the rest of the space around you. Now, this might be really difficult on the first day, even on the second and third. But what you'll notice is that each day that you do this meditation, you'll find yourself just a little bit more connected to yourself and the space around you than you were the day before. All right. Open your eyes. Let's go over week number 2. If you were following along there for the first meditation, wonderful. If you were just listening so that you can get an idea of what it's like to do this meditation, that's fine too. We're going to go into weeks 2, 3, and 4 right now. And so, of course, feel free to continue listening so that you can gain an idea of what these meditations are actually like. And feel free to, when you're actually doing the meditations, to turn this back on and listen to it really quick for a quick refresher, or to just keep this playing softly in the background if you want as well. Totally up to you. Now, week number 2. For week number 2, you want to continue doing the same thing that you did before, which is reserve that 10 to 15 minute block in your day, total solitude. Nobody can bother you. Put a sign on the door if you need to, and be at peace with yourself. And then start each session by going through the activities of week number 1. Do the same thing that you did before for the last week by going through each piece of your body, imagining it being covered by water, and the end goal being to be in more connection, to develop a higher connection between yourself and your surroundings, as being connected to the space around you. So start week 2 with week 1's meditations. Next, continue going. And this is every day, Monday through Sunday for week number 2. You do the week 1 meditation, and then you build on that with the second one, which is to build on it further by working to prune through your normal existence by focusing on specific emotions that make up a big part of yourself that you don't like, and start to unmemorize them. You want to unmemorize those emotions that are hurting you, that are painful to you, that you don't like, that you don't want to be associated with yourself. Because it doesn't feel right when you are emotionally strung out with others, nor does it feel right when you're emotionally strung out with yourself. So after you go through the week 1 meditation, you build on that by closing your eyes and thinking deeply about the role of this negative emotion in your life, thinking of all the ways that it's affecting you today. And then writing down these feelings in a notebook afterward, after the meditation is complete, after you're done with your first session and then the second session. You want to write down these feelings in a notebook, in a journal, after your meditation is done. And again, you want to go through as many emotions as you need to for this week 2 meditation, but go through one at a time and hold it in your mind. Think about how it's affecting you as you inhale and exhale. And as your breath leaves your body, imagine as if all of those negative emotions that you're harboring inside towards yourself or towards others are also leaving your body. And again, focus on one at a time and let one of them go each time. Every few minutes, you might want to switch it up with a different emotion, or you can just do the whole meditation with one emotion that's really having an impact on your life. Now let's move on to week 3. So week number 1 should have been only about 10 minutes or so for you to get started. Now, if you wanted to speed things up, now there's no time limit here. Ideally, you want to build yourself up to about 30 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day, and be able to do that comfortably and looking forward to it in a way, because it brings you peace. And so from week 1, it's about 10 minutes. Week 2 should take you about 15 minutes. And now week 3, we're going to continue to build upon weeks 1 and 2 as well. With week 3, go through the same preparation, the same stages, weeks 1 and 2. You want to start with those meditations from the first 2 weeks and build on this progress by focusing completely on ways that you can change how this negative emotion that we were just talking about is manifesting itself in your life. Again, close your eyes, start to inhale, and exhale, and start focusing completely after you go through weeks 1 meditation and weeks 2 meditation, focusing completely on ways that you can change how this emotion is manifesting itself in your life. How do you do that? One way you can do this is by thinking through scenarios where you regularly experience this feeling and then shouting change out loud as you can, right? Again, thinking through the scenario, envisioning that negative emotion manifesting itself in your life, and then saying change as loud as you can over and over and over again when you envision yourself experiencing that negative emotion. You want to work hard to think through a better reaction and really envision yourself feeling it and acting on it instead of that negative emotion. Replace it, right? This replacement, first thinking about that negative emotion and then saying change out loud, and then immediately replacing it with a better, more powerful and empowering, inspiring emotion, and then envisioning yourself feeling that and acting on that instead, replacing that negative with a positive. This helps create those neural pathways in your head to help transform your habits in real life. And why scream change out loud? Isn't meditation supposed to be peaceful? Yes, but it's also supposed to be transformative. And when you really put your body, your physiology into something by screaming change out loud, especially when it's something you want to change, your body feels it. You're going to feel totally differently than if you were just inhaling, exhaling, and saying change while you were thinking about that negative emotion, saying change, please change. No, you want to change, right? So you want to get excited about it, and you actually want to say it. You want to feel yourself saying it. You want to feel that energy just reverberating out of your body. So scream change, you had that negative emotion, replace it with a positive one, and allow yourself to create those neural pathways in your head to help transform your habits in real life. Now, so week 3, Monday through Sunday, every single day that week, 7 days a week, you want to do this change meditation. Now, let's move on to week number 4. Follow the meditations of weeks 1 through 3, right? Now, this entire process now should take at least 30 to 40 minutes. And you want to start part 4 with the goal of creating a new personality for yourself. You want to think of how your idealized self would act through every emotion and truly try to feel the impacts of that emotion. And again, close your eyes, inhale and exhale as you enter into this meditation. And over time, as you continue to do these meditations, you'll transform how your brain reacts to the situation and transform your behavior for good, thus creating a new, better, more empowering habit that helps you rather than hurts you. Now, each of these weeks has its own purpose, and each of these weeks builds upon the one before it. Now, you can follow this 4-week process repeatedly to systematically remove negative emotions from your head, and over time, you'll start to live your idealized life in almost every way. The process will get easier the more you make it a habit, and you'll be amazed at how full your life will get when you take total control of your subconscious mind. Closing notes. The key takeaway from this book is this: your brain and your life are more malleable than you know. When you realize that 99% of the universe is energy, not matter, it's easier to understand that how your life is right now is just a small sliver of the potential reality that you could create for yourself. Even more important, much of your current reality is the result of subconscious choices that you're making to live and act in a certain way. And by tapping into your subconscious through meditation, you can rework the automatic processes that are holding you back with negative emotions and transform your life in ways that are hard to imagine right now, but possible if you will work this system. These meditations that we went over previously, the big ideas that we discussed throughout this audiobook summary, these changes can happen for you. You can turn your life around if you don't like it right now. You can get that extra edge if you want it. You can do whatever it is that you decide to do. And I know it's hard to imagine, but because all realities, as Joe Dispenza, the author, tells us, exist, because all realities exist in the quantum field, absolutely nothing is off limits for you if you tap into yourself. A few actionable insights before we close out this book summary. Number 1, stop dwelling on negative emotions in your daily life. Number 2, become more aware of the ways that your subconscious is dictating your life today. Are there certain things that you believe but don't really remember how you came to believe them? Are there certain actions that you take without really thinking about? Are there certain mindsets, certain patterns in your psychology that you keep rerunning that you don't even know how they got there, but they're just the way that's just how they are. That's just how you think. You can change that. You can mold your life to become more empowering. You can mold the success that you desire into your life by starting with your psychology. Number 3, understand that all futures exist in the quote-unquote quantum field, as the author tells us. And what he says this means is that your life, it's not limited to how it's manifesting itself right now. You can change it. Number 4, follow a daily meditation to rewrite the automatic processes in your brain. That 4-week program that we went over, you want to do that every single day. And if you skip a day, go back to the beginning. Go back to week 1. If you're at week 3 and you're going strong, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you slip up, you don't do it, start back up from the beginning. That's the best way to build up that discipline of consistent action on anything. And finally, number 5, the last actionable insight we've got is this: do not limit yourself to your past or your future. The past does not equal the future. Focus on bringing meaning to the present, letting go of those past negative experiences, memories, neural pathways that you've built up, and focus on creating a powerful, successful, meaningful future and present moment for yourself.